Hey, what's up, everyone? This is not actually what I was initially intending on reacting to today. This video, Lighten Up Heavyweight by Null FM. But I watched it for the first time a couple of days ago. I think it was a couple of days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. And it has been on my mind since. It keeps replaying. I've probably listened to it 20 times now. And that's not an exaggeration. I really like this song, and hopefully I'll be able to get through it. It's a very lighthearted, fun song, a fun reminder, um, and hopefully I'll be able to get through it without tears, because it hits home to me pretty heavily, in some ways. So I wanted to kind of dig into it, and maybe digging into it and talking about it will allow it to get out of my mind for a while so I can work on something else. All right, here we go. We'll take it piece by piece here. And I'm mostly wanting to talk about the content of the song, the lyrics, and the meaning that I guess it has for me, and that the importance that I'm seeing in it. It's mainly what I'm going to focus on, but I do think it has to be stated just how beautiful his animation is here. This animation style that he has is phenomenal. It looks so good.
Yeah, you say life is a battlefield. I say it's a pillow fight. You cut every misstep. I'm just trying to sleep at night.
You say life is a battlefield. You say life is a battlefield. I say it's a pillow fight. You count every misstep. I'm just trying to sleep at night. So we have, the song is, as you can hear, the female voice, and we'll see the female character in just a moment here. But it's a song from her perspective, talking to a man, her significant other, that is just being too serious about life, and that's something I certainly relate to personally. The taking things a little too seriously.
You quote the philosophers at brunch over burnt toast. I'm just trying to savor it. You trying to swear a stern oath.
And we see now we see the lady of this story, and we can see that he is, again, even something as simple as eating breakfast together is taking it seriously, and quoting philosophers and trying to better himself. And I don't think there's anything wrong with bettering yourself. I think that's a good thing. I think there's a time and a place to take things seriously, though, and I think it's very good of her to be pointing that out and saying, like, just enjoy yourself, just have some fun, like, allow yourself some breathing room here.
You schedule your fun time, color coded calendars, meditation, gratitude, optimize parameters. You heal on a.
I'm going to rewind right there. Again, I said I'm mostly going to be focusing on the lyrical contents and the meaning that I see in this, but there's a little thing here. Watch her. I think he did an amazing job. Watch her as he's about to hit his head on the pole. She notices before he does, because he's staring down at his phone.
Do your fun time, color coded calendars, meditation, gratitude, optimize.
It's about to come up right here.
Parameters. You heal on a.
She rushes up to try and catch him, and I think there's actually probably more meaning in that than I don't know if it was intended to be this way. I don't know if Noel intended to put this meaning in there, but when you are taking things so seriously and you're hyper fixating on the serious, you're tunnel visioning yourself and preventing yourself from being able to see what's happening around you, and that can be dangerous. As you saw, he hit his head, which is a comical, like, very lighthearted version of that, but it's an important lesson, I think, to take out of it anyways.
Deadline, you grow like it's homework. Journal your inner child, then assign that kid more work. Why you take life so serious? Suit and tie on your spirit, huh? Every laugh need a reason, huh? Every smile got a thesis, huh? Lighten up heavyweight. You can drop that mental crate. If you breathe, you already great. Don't make peace another thing you gotta rate.
If you breathe, you already great. Don't make peace another thing you gotta rate. I think that this, as a man that takes things very seriously, um, this is a great reminder and great example of what a good woman can do for a man. Um, and my wife is often the more silly and fun. I feel like I used to be fun, but I take life so seriously now these days. But she is the one that's uh, reminding me regularly that, you know what, whatever's going on, we'll get through it. It's like lighten up. We're gonna be okay. Let's go have some fun. And I'm the one who's looking at the serious things happening in the world and staring at and arguing with people on the internet and like tied to my phone a lot of the time to trying to optimize. Man, I try and optimize everything, even the things I do for fun. I'm trying to like make it as optimal as possible, to do it as efficient as possible. And she's the one that will be like, let's go for a walk and have like, let's just enjoy ourselves. We don't need to be hyper hyper optimizing everything in our life. So this, I think I don't think optimization or taking things seriously is bad. I think that there's a time and a place for it. And I think it is a beautiful thing to have a wife, a woman in your life that is able to remind you to take it easy, to enjoy yourself, take some time.
You count in your steps, but you never just step out, arguing in comment sections what life's really about.
Yeah, arguing in comment sections what life's really about. That also hits home for me as someone who is probably spends a little too much time online arguing with people on the internet.
You're building anti-arguments, I'm building blanket forts instead. You preaching from the keyboard, I'm raising kingdoms in my bedspread. You flex how enlightened, I don't even watch shows, yet you know plots to every one of those. You fasting from pleasure, but binging on guilt.
Ooh, this line also hits really hard right here. You fasting from pleasure, but binging on guilt. I think it's really easy to allow ourselves to get caught up in the guilt, in things that we should do, of ways that we should have spent the day, or like finding anything that we could possibly have done wrong, to the point where even when you're doing things that you should be just relaxing, just chilling, just having fun, that those thoughts are always in the back of your mind, and it poisons that time that you have for relaxation and pleasure. It poisons that time. It seeps in from that guilt of thinking of the ways that you should have spent the day, or things that you've done wrong, or that you're not in a good enough space, that you're not where you want to be yet, when you're taking life so seriously. And I gotta say, personally, I don't really understand how to make that change. It's one of those things that I know is an issue, but to not take life so seriously, but it's hard to actually make that change in myself. It's hard to figure out how to do that. But but this song itself is a beautiful reminder to lighten up, that we're gonna be okay, that we can have fun despite the hard times, or despite the serious nature of things.
You built a whole prison and brag about how it's built.
You built a whole prison, then brag about how it's built. How do I explain my thoughts on this line right here? You built a whole prison, then brag about how it's built. This is the line coming from the female's point of view, as the rest of the lines have been. Recognizing that he is taking things so incredibly seriously, that he has put limitations on himself. He's not allowing himself to have fun. He's not allowing himself to do the things he enjoys, or to really experience life in a beautiful and wonderful way, because of these limitations that he's put on himself, because of the seriousness that he takes out of life. Because as previously alluded to, he's scheduling his fun time and scheduling time to like meditate, like all these different things of like being so structured that it's basically a prison. And then you brag about how it's built. You start talking, you're like, yes, I have made all of these rules for my life. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Because it's, and that's not always a good thing. Again, I do think that there some things need to be taken seriously, and there's a time for, but there is a time for seriousness and a time for levity. And I think a big sign of maturity is someone's ability to swap between those, to be able to recognize that and change from a serious nature to a playful nature. To move between those shows real maturity. Real maturity is not being serious all the time. That's not what makes someone mature. And if you're just super serious all the time, you're just a stick in the mud.
Why you take life so serious? Suit and tie on your spirit, huh? Every laugh need a reason, huh? Every joy need the thesis, huh?
The suit and tie on your spirit, that I just hate wearing a tie. I hate the feeling of a tie around my neck. So you're essentially strangling yourself. That I see that as like strangling your soul while working, or while trying to be serious and trying, I think it's admirable to try to do things right and to take something seriously, but also like have fun. Part of the reason I think that this song hits so hard for me particularly is because recently I've been going through some, in my personal life, I'm not going to dig into details, been going through some pretty serious stuff. And I have a tendency to bottle a lot of that up and try to be like, and try to maintain seriousness and maintain a stoic nature through things. And very recently had a conversation with my wife that reminded me a lot of this, a lot of the, even if we're broke, we'll still have fun. We're still like setting my priorities straight, really, and like really helping me view things through a better lens. And so I feel like the song really encapsulates a lot of what I recently have experienced through that with my wife.
Lighten up heavyweight. Drop that mental crate. If you're here now, you already great. Don't make love another task you gotta rate. Yeah, we broke, we aware, we can care and still clown.
Yeah, we broke, we aware, we can care and still clown. Yeah. Even if you're broke, even if things are particularly terrible in the economy, lose your job, things are rough, you can still care for each other, and you can still joke around, and you can still have fun, and you can still enjoy life. You don't need all of those extra things. You don't need, the people near you are the most important people. Those that are directly in your life, those are what's most important. So it doesn't matter if you're broke or you're rich. You should be sharing in joy with those around you, those closest to you, your loved ones.
You can stand for the people and still sit your ass down. Yeah.
You can stand for the people and still sit your ass down. I'm taking this to mean that you can, by standing for the people, mean you can be trying to be a betterment in the world. You're trying to stick up for those that might have lesser, or trying to be a positive influence in the world. But you can still sit your ass down. You can still relax. You can still take some time to to actually enjoy each other and enjoy those that you are trying to be pushing for. And I do think it's important. I think rest is important. Otherwise, you burn out. And then you're not doing anyone any good.
Toast with your teacup, dance in your kitchen. You ain't got a right to think peace. Every time you feel different. Why you take life so serious? Suit and tie on your spirit, huh? Not every breath needs a syllabus. Not every happiness needs deliverance. Lighten up, heavyweight. You can drop that mental crate.
It's been said several times through already. Lighten up, heavyweight. You can drop that mental crate. It's like we're carrying around a mental burden. We pile all of this onto ourselves, all this weight, pressure, stress, expectations from others, but also our own expectations for ourselves. We pile that up and it bogs us down, and this is just a beautiful reminder to let it go. You can just let that go, and you can carry on without all that weight and expectation on your shoulders.
If you alive, that's worth the wait. Don't make life another job you gotta rate.
Anyways, I just really wanted to get my thoughts out about that video. Hopefully someone finds it interesting, but if not, it was beneficial to me to be able to talk about it. So thanks all. Take it easy.